Profanity Nation.
Yeah, it's the new era of man for some old school fans with a new school brand. We got money on the mic with the plan in hand. And Stat Pat to his left, they go hand in hand. And to the right, we got Simpster, he putting it down. It's the Profanity Nation, we running the town, yeah.
It's the Profanity Nation.
Profanity Nation.
Hey there, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Profanity Nation podcast, where we are the voice of the professional fan. As usual, joined here by my guys, Money Mike over here to my right. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. Let's do this.
You feeling good today? Yeah. Stat Pat, how you feeling?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Where we at, Pat? Where we at?
We in this bitch. You know that.
Oh, let's do it.
Another episode. As usual, we're here every Sunday night starting at 8:30 p.m. live Pacific, and we are streamed live. There's only certain sources and certain places you can hear us live and actually take part in the show. You can hear us live on the Good News Radio Network, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and then, of course, we are the official sports show for the Los Angeles Lakers fan club room on Clubhouse, guys.
Shout them out.
Over 9,000 members.
And growing.
And growing.
Killing the
quick.
game.
Yeah,
Killing the game.
Crispy's just killing it over there. They're always listening. They're always great.
They right here, right now.
They're listening. They're ready to go. They're always ready with the smart answers, and they're really smart basketball fans. If you want to take part in the show, again, you just need to join the fan club, Los Angeles Lakers fan club on Clubhouse, and then hop in Sunday night at 8:30, and we're ready to go, guys.
Yeah.
So as usual, if you're part of the show, we love to start with a segment called the 5-minute injury wrap-up with our buddy Marco Nunez. Let's bring him in right now. Marco, how are you doing today?
Doing well. How's everybody doing today?
Hey, Marco, how you doing?
We good, man.
We're good. So as usual, we go over some injuries from around the sports world and such. Today, we're going to talk about an injury, but then we're also, because you keep really busy, you're going to give sort of an example of some of the online tips that you give out and so forth. But let's go ahead and start with Money Mike over here, and he has a question for you.
Yeah, so we're Laker fans, man, but we're Dodger fans too.
Mm-hmm.
Mookie, man, we need him.
Mookie.
We need Mookie to be all right, and he been in pain with his hip all season, and they've been claiming they haven't had like a diagnosis. He finally, and they were just giving him pain medicine, pain pills, not pills, but shots, whatever they do. And then, he flew back. Now they're diagnosing him with bone spurs in his hip, and I'm like, man, that sounds real painful. And how come we didn't know this like 3-4 months ago?
So it's tricky in the part as far as how much information teams are divulging, out in the open type of thing. Like I kind of joke about it, here and there, and sometimes I refer to it as the Bill Belichick effect that he started about a couple of years ago, where everybody's questionable, everybody's hurt for some reason until the game day, and then all of a sudden everybody's healthy.
Right.
But with Mookie, I think they finally came out and they diagnosed it with bone spurs. So they're also known as cam lesions. And basically a bone spur, if you think about it, if you look at a bone, the bone tends to be kind of nice and smooth. And sometimes you develop like little stress reactions or stress fracture in that area, kind of like little micro kind of fractures. It's not a full fracture. And what the body does, it heals itself and it creates what's called a calcification, where it creates bone on top of bone. And now you have like a little bump. And it looks like a spur. So, and then they refer to a spur because one of the most common places you get it is on your heel. Just like when you get on a cowboy spur, you have those boots, and that's just what it looks like. Now, some players may have it, and they will have no discomfort. They'll be asymptomatic. They're fine. Other players will experience some discomfort. And the one thing I always say is, as the saying goes, there's a place for everything, and everything in its place. If that bone spur starts rubbing against something out, whether it's cartilage, whether it's a tendon, whether it's a muscle, whether it's a ligament, you will experience discomfort and pain. And in this case, I think from my understanding, he has it on the hip joint, on the ball socket, not actually on the femur, on the ball where it kind of touches. So anytime he bends the hip, it rubs against it, and they have discomfort. Now, they always try to treat it conservatively, meaning they do physical therapy, like you mentioned, they do medication, maybe an injection here and there. When it comes to athletes, unless you really, really need it, surgery is like the last resort. So they will try to treat it conservatively as much as possible until you get to the point it's like, hey, you know what? I can't play. I can't go anymore. We got to figure this out.
So what does that mean? Like if he's been playing all year, is this an injury that gets worse?
Well,
or just
I have a
maintains?
question right there too. They always say in sports, you're hurt, or you're injured. The way you described it, it sounds like while it could be very painful, it just sounds like hurt, not injured. Like, can it get worse? Can there be more damage?
Correct. So exactly. So you're right. There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Most players are hurt at some capacity. You know, whether you have something simple as a contusion, whether you have an ankle sprain, ligament sprain, stuff like that, you can still kind of function and kind of go. And then when you're injured, when you have a fracture, an ACL tear, or something like that, where even if you try to go, you know, like with Kobe when he had his Achilles tendon rupture, even if he tried to go, he couldn't. He had an injury. Now, in this case, bone spurs can be very uncomfortable. They can. The thing about it is that it doesn't allow you to move like you're supposed to. And that is one of the biggest things, whether, you know, it's very common with athletes in basketball, they get it in their ankle. So when they try to run up and down the court, they can't function correctly. They can't sprint. They can't push off. Every time they land, they get that recurring discomfort, like that pinching pain over and over and over and over again. And if it's over rubbing, let's say a tendon, or if it's rubbing over cartilage, it can start scraping against it, which can lead to something else.
Okay, Marco, I also want to ask you, like, so you also you said something about surgery. So what does, like, especially when it's the bone spur on the top of the femur, what does that look like? Are they like shaving something off? Or are they kind of like, so what does surgery look like?
And what's the rehab time? Like, is it a month out, 2 months, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So it varies from how big the bone spur is and where it's located and how much is rubbing. But basically, the surgery is referred to as an arthroscopic surgery, where it's not very invasive. They just do a couple of holes. They have a camera. They have a thing, just like you mentioned. They go in and shave it off, and they debride it, and they kind of clean it up. So it's not anything invasive. It's not like an ACL or anything like that. Recovery time is pretty quick. It can, like I said, it can vary. It could be anywhere between like 2 to 6 weeks, depending on where the bone spur is, how big the bone spur is, what was it rubbing, and also to make sure that if there was any secondary issues that didn't irritate anything already.
So you were saying earlier about, like, sometimes you can play with those bone spurs. So if you did say go and get surgery for that, would you be able to come back soon? I know it's like full recovery too, but during that 2 to 6 weeks, could you play during that time, or is it just advised to just stay off of it until you're fully recovered from the surgery?
No, yeah. So you got to do rehab. You got to stay off of it. Obviously, you're gonna have a little bit of swelling there. You're gonna have a little inflammation. They have to make sure they regain his range of motion, because right now, most likely, because he's in discomfort, anytime he runs, he's compensating. That's the other issue. That, you know, he doesn't have the full range of motion. He can't extend, or especially when he flexes down, that's probably when he has discomfort. So getting down on the field to kind of grab a grounder ball or something like that, that's where he probably feels a little bit some of the pinch. So they got to strengthen that area, make sure he has full range of motion before you kind of get him back in there. As a professional athlete, obviously you don't want anything as far as a secondary injury resulting from this or compensation.
All right, cool. So I think you should just go ahead and have surgery now. Those 2 to 6 weeks to be ready for the playoffs.
Sooner the better.
I mean,
we need him in October.
That's what I'm hearing, right? That's what I'm hearing.
We need him in October.
Yeah, we need him in October. Just go ahead and knock this out, man.
Correct. So you usually when it comes to surgeries like this, like I always do, is you work backwards. You know, you kind of, here's your timeline. If it's 6 weeks from this date, like you guys mentioned, we need him for October. Can he be back as early as, you know, as mid-September to be able to get at least 2-3 weeks, you know, playing before the playoffs begin, type of thing? Then if we do it now, have him rehab, boom, give him some time. So when it comes to some surgeries like this, unless it's a season-ending surgery, then you just get it done as soon as possible. You're done. But something like this, like I said, you always work backwards, see what the timeline is, and kind of figure it out. Because, like I said, there's a point for him. There's probably like a point of no return that he probably tried. But there's always a cutoff date. We have to decide by this date if you want to be ready for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Now, Marco, if people don't know, you're very active online. You're not just an athletic trainer personally, but you actually try to share your tips and help a lot of people. And we thought it would be a great opportunity for you to just show an example of kind of the type of tips you put online, so people know what they're looking at, what they're looking for if they follow you and keep up with you. So why don't you go ahead and hit that for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen here, and I'm gonna show you guys just a quick short clip that I put on Instagram, but usually I do larger videos on YouTube, and I think I have one here set up, ready to go. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If not, no big deal.
Okay, how would I be able to
next week?
Not sure if I can share it here. Here, I got you right here.
Okay,
hey, yeah.
Let's take a look here. Should give an option. There
Okay.
it is.
You
There
got my
go,
screen?
Marco. Yep.
Yeah, we got it.
Perfect. Okay, so this is just a quick short IG video.
Perfect.
Off mute.
Turn up the volume a little bit. Let me see. I don't think it's muted.
It's on mute.
Yeah, we might have mute here. It's
Looks
okay,
good.
Marco. Your work is great. What are you discussing here, Marco? In this
It
clip?
looks good though.
Basically, this is we're talking about shin splint.
Okay,
So
so-
give you some quick rundown as far as
Yep.
what shin splints is, what are some of the common causes, so some of the common symptoms, and also provide you with some of the exercises and stretches and what to do to address it, prevent it. As you can see here, it's just the IG one. So it's about a minute and a half. But if you go to my YouTube channel, which is Evolve Athletic Performance, I give the whole entire list of exercises, stretches, foam rolling techniques, rehab techniques with TheraBand, and all the information I provide you is basic stuff. You don't need any heavy weights, anything of that sort. It's just something you can do at home for the average person. As you can see here, it's just basically a quick TheraBand you can use to address and treat shin splints.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
See,
Nice.
so again, if you follow Marco here, you're going to go ahead. You're not just going to hear tips. You're going to see he's actually showing you, because as we know, we're not really that knowledgeable as far
Yeah,
as
I'm a
what-
visual guy. I'm a
So
visual guy.
yeah,
I need to
so
see what I'm doing.
yeah, no, it's perfect, Marco. That's why we love you. Love having you on the show, because you describe it so well and make it so that everyone can understand. So again, that's awesome. Please, again, once again, tell everyone the best way that they can keep up with those little clips and with yourself, please.
Yeah, so if you guys welcome to follow me on Instagram at Marco A. Nunez 17. That way you can kind of see the videos, or you can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe at Evolve Athletic Performance, where I put out a weekly sports minute tip of the week. And it's basically common things that, most, if you're an athlete, if you have kids that play in sports, you'll probably benefit from any of this stuff.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you as always, Marco. We'll see you next week. We love it. Great stuff.
Take care, everybody.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Cool. See you later.
Yeah. So if you follow Marco online, you're actually going to see, those graphics with the ankle moving and like X-ray. He actually
Yeah,
uses
that's
all
what I
that.
need, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I think I'm just getting old, man. So sometimes
Well,
my
yeah.
knee just, I wake up, my knees start hurting.
Yeah.
You know
You need that visual. What the
Yeah,
heck's going
yeah.
on? What the heck's going on?
All I did was sleep.
All right, guys. So Marco's great, but let's move on to some talk. Let's move on to some sports talk. So long time coming, everybody. This was a long time coming. The first football game at SoFi with fans. Now, of course, this was supposed to happen last year, but because of the COVID restrictions and everything, it didn't. However, this did finally take place. This took place just yesterday at SoFi Stadium, and it was a preseason game, which was the Rams versus the Chargers. It was a Rams home game. I was lucky enough to be
What does that even mean?
right.
I mean, they're playing the Chargers. I mean, then they call it the roommate rivalry or roommate series or something like that.
Well,
I mean,
okay, so
I guess the hallway series is
I guess
taken,
the first
freeway
thing-
series is taken. So I guess we got this
Exactly.
roommate thing. I mean, that's what we're doing.
Well, I think the first thing we have to establish is if it's two teams in one stadium, who are the Lakers and who are the
Like that.
Clippers?
That goes without saying, because the Rams own the building.
Yeah.
So that goes without saying. If someone's getting kicked out, it's not the Rams.
Okay.
No.
So that goes without saying.
So the Rams are the Lakers.
Yeah, and then that makes the Chargers the Clippers of town.
I
No
mean,
question.
the fact that the Rams have been elevated to Laker status is still fitting a little bit.
well, no, we're just talking.
we're-
I
we're-
know, but it just still, I mean, these cats ain't won nothing yet. I mean, and they got a nice shiny little toy, but at the same time, they need some jewelry, some decorations on the wall first. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they're, I get it. Kroenke came, he spent the money.
He spent the money and didn't take a single taxpayer
so
dollar.
so he's the man, and his team is the one that's calling the shots.
Not a single.
Yeah, but when you say though too that even the fan base is similar. Like the Ram fan base is more like a Lakers, and the Charger fan base.
Yeah,
It's
fools just
more like Clippers.
fools just
Well,
take off the jersey and put
let's
a new
just look
jersey
at the
on.
similarities.
Okay,
What city did the Clippers come from?
San Diego.
So let's just start there.
Damn, okay,
Wow, all right.
okay. I see the
You
parallels.
see where
I
it's
see the
going,
parallels.
right? Now the math. I was there at the game and lucky enough to have my
Talk
girlfriend
about it,
there.
man. Talk
Yeah,
about your
it was
experience.
okay. But my girlfriend was asking why the Chargers moved here, and I said, well, it's just math. Even if they're not getting anywhere near the fans that the Rams are, they're still making more than they were making in San Diego just because of the larger fan
and
base.
that's why the Clippers came over to state.
Same difference.
I mean,
Exactly.
when
it doesn't matter if they're the stepbrother.
Yeah, when the Chargers came over there, they knew. I mean, if people that didn't know or have forgot about how this thing was going to go, for a while it was the Raiders and the Chargers were going to go and move to Carson, and they were going to share a stadium. But Kroenke kind of like threw all that, the mix in that, and so he built his stadium. And at the last minute, they cut the Raiders out. And brought the Chargers in. Now, of course, we know why, and because it's market share, and we all understand that the Raiders still have a big presence in Los Angeles, and that's going to cut into the profit margin. But if you bring the Chargers in, you ain't got to worry about that because the Chargers ain't did nothing. So it's easy to go ahead and crap on them. So so you have that going on with them and the stadium, and so it feels like that little brother is really little brother.
You know what? And they really are the little brother. I'll tell you why. There are no season tickets available.
Hey, I'm saying this with all malice because I am a Raider fan. So I'm just letting y'all know. If you're thinking I'm hating on the Chargers, you're absolutely correct. I am hating on the Chargers because I'm a Raider fan. However, I do understand your situation. You did make your franchise a lot, more lucrative by moving to Los Angeles.
Yeah. But look, if you look at it, like I said, the Rams, no season tickets available. You can't buy any. Right now, the Chargers are still selling season tickets.
Discount prices.
At discount prices. I was actually at the Fan Fest the week before, and a guy said that he had bought 2 seats, and then they waived the SSL license so he could buy 2 more seats.
That's big.
And I'm like, wow, they're trying their best to get the season tickets sold for I'm about to call them the Clippers, for the Chargers.
Man, it just almost falls off the tongue.
Right. So, I wonder if their records are going to be like that. I mean, the Chargers kept losing last year. They did everything they could to lose every game.
But real talk, I like Herbert. I actually love Herbert. Cool. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it's kind of hard for me to say that because I am a Raider fan, but I do like the quarterback. I think the quarterback's nice. I think he has moxie. You know what I'm saying? He can get after it. He's not afraid to throw it deep. If we're all looking at college football, we're interested. I mean, we know about the Pac-12 and what he did at Oregon, so we know who this kid is. We kind of got that already, the information on him, and he looks like he's up to the part. Now, of course, there's always the sophomore jinx. We got to worry about that. And he's the first time playing in front of fans. This is going to be the year where it's going to be it's whole different. You walking on the road.
Obviously, NFL fans. He did college.
Right. Well, I mean, he did that. But when he goes into the NFL, and it's going to be like he's walking into a stadium and it's 78,000 fans did not like him. It's going to be a difference. And I do like the offense. I like the defense. I like Derwin James. I'm cool on them. Now, of course, all that being said, I want us to the Raiders to beat them, but they're not going to be as bad as people think they are. I think I see it like a 9-7 type season. Third in the West, AFC West, behind KC, the Raiders. I think the Broncos are going to be the cellar dwellers. But that's just my opinion.
I just love the comparisons, though. I'm just sitting around thinking, hey, so when it's a Raider game, Raider Chargers, is it going to be more Raider fans there or Charger fans?
I mean, what history dictates that we will take over that.
So when the Chargers play Pittsburgh, is it going to be more Pittsburgh fans?
History
Chargers do not travel.
They will take over that stadium. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
how about the Ravens?
The Ravens. I mean, that's a trek.
50.
That's a trek. That's a 3,000-mile trek all the way over here to the other coast.
But there's always fans.
It might not be.
So it may be 50.
There's always transplants here. Too.
Yeah,
but there are some franchises that travel well. You seen Pittsburgh Steelers. That's just they're going to come hard. So,
yeah, I'm just saying,
and then you got the Rams. The Rams, actually, of course, I think with Stafford, they should be better than when they have Goff. I think Goff was being, not, held back because I don't think that he was able to implement McVay's plan the way he wanted to. So now they have a veteran that's going to be able to make make the throws that they need to make that offense pop. like they're gonna, and I know they're missing Cam Akers because Cam Akers got the ACL injury. He's out for a year, but I think Henderson is going to be able to step into that spot and he's going to do well. You still got Brown. So, and then of course you still got, you still got Sarah's own, he's why he's
Donald.
no Robert Woods.
Robert Woods,
then you got Cooper Kupp,
USC,
and then also D-Jax. So we're like or Deshaun Jackson for anybody that don't know who D-Jax is, but that's. So I think their offense is going to be electric, and I think that taking out Goff and putting in Stafford is almost like addition by subtraction. So that's how I look at.
What do you see the Rams record coming?
Oh, the Rams should be a Super Bowl contender with a bullet. I'm thinking like if anything less than 12-4 and winning the division is a disappointment. They have 13-3 written all over them. I mean, they got to worry about their division now. Of course, you got the Seahawks, you got the 49ers. Those are going to be tough battles. So they're going to have to go against those teams. I mean, the Cardinals is up and coming, so, you get, because Cardinals got AJ Green, they still got D-Hop, and they have, Kyle Murray. So you still have the NFC West is going to be a tough division. So it's going to be, but I still see the Rams should be your 12-4, 13-3 type season.
Well, let me just say that the experience at SoFi was both absolutely amazing and just absolutely horrendous on both sides. The stadium, the building, the grounds, the lake, everything that they have, YouTube theater that's right there. Everything there is absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever been in a more beautiful building, big structure like that. I mean, it's absolutely breathtaking. Obviously, you have the screen on the middle, the scoreboard. That's absolutely amazing. Everything in there is bright, if not even a little too bright. The sound is great, if not even a little too loud. So all of that is great. The game experience, if you're not getting beat up by a woman throwing cokes, we'll get to that in a second.
Probably like the highlight of the day.
That's the good stuff. Now the bad stuff. I don't get it. SoFi, talk to me. I don't get it. I'm reaching out to you. Okay. You guys designed an absolutely amazing building, and the attention to detail that takes is just, I can't even fathom that. However, what were you thinking when you made like 2 lanes to pull into the parking lots, and that takes about an hour to an hour and a half to get in? What were you thinking when you funnel all these people and you say you're concerned about COVID, but you funnel them through three metal security outlets, and that's by the tailgating parking lot? Now there's other places, but they all narrowed down. They weren't spread out. So you're just, just like, cows just getting pushed in to do your thing. And so right off the bat, the second you get there, you're driving around looking for the proper color lot. They have pink, green, blue, purple. You find the lot, takes you about an hour or so just to get into the lot.
That's ridiculous.
Now I'm going to say I've heard some negatives as far as the tailgating, not a lot of space. I actually thought it was pretty cool the way they had it. They have the spots, they have the red lines for fire lanes, and everyone looked like they had enough space.
Yeah.
So I think that was okay. But you're in line just to get your car parked. I mean, horrendous. And that was at 3:00. Game didn't start till 7.
Right.
Okay. So this was just the people ready to come there and tailgate, not even the big rush of people. Tailgating fans were great. I'd like to call out a couple fans specifically. San Diego Charger fans, Ken and Mary Lampkin. You guys are awesome. These people are absolutely amazing. San Diego Charger fans, they are just the top of the limits, and we'll talk a little bit more about them. We have a reason. And then Chris Savalos with the Rams and World Tour Rams, he was awesome as well. They both hosted myself as I went around and checked out these tailgate parties, and they were both amazing. So that was great. DJs and the whole 9 yards. They really, really go to town. But then the next thing is you're going in. And like I said, they shelf you in line. So you're okay. You get past that. But then once you're in, I know that we all kind of went there before they opened. You got to see.
I went to the Fan Fest a week before.
I went to the Rams or the Chargers first time to see your seats event. And so we didn't know how the concessions would be at that point because those weren't really open. Well, they were all open, and it was horrendous. The food choices were disgusting. I mean, just disgusting. At one of the spots, you have to wait an hour again just to get some food.
I think it's going to get better, man. I mean, you know how it is, man. Social media is going to dictate to get the.
I just don't know. It doesn't look like, to me, I'm not knocking any of the employees, and I understand this was their first game. That didn't seem to be the problem.
It should not have been their first day.
Right.
Their first game.
Yeah.
I get that. But the first day, y'all should have had like a little.
They were all great. They were all.
Did they know something though? Did they know where to send you? Could you get information
Not
from them?
really. That was difficult. And then mention this. This is the top of the line stadium. This is where NFL headquarters are going to be. This is where the Super Bowl. This will be where the opening ceremony for the Olympics are. But guess what? You have no effing signal when you're in this place. You can't send out a text. You can't send out stuff. It's an outdoor open air arena.
Maybe they don't want anybody live streaming.
Actually, that's what I always think.
Yeah, shut that shit down.
And the problem is that we're not the only ones being the guests. When they're taking your effing ticket, the machine doesn't have good signal.
Oh, they use Wi-Fi for that?
Yes.
Oh.
And they're saying, we don't have great signal with these things. And if the sun's on the phone and all...
It's a beautiful stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium.
Let's say that.
All of those things need a lot of work.
They need some work on that.
A lot of work. And I think most of the people agree, and we'll see, but they have to improve the food. They have to improve the lines and so forth. But it was a beautiful stadium.
All in all, it's a beautiful stadium.
I'm just
thinking, it really is.
Okay, so let me.
If they're winning, do you think the fans gonna care?
Yeah,
because
they're not gonna
so I'm saying, like, you put the product on the field, and that field, and it's just a man. I'll eat Doritos. If my team, you know what I'm saying, if my team is 13-3, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so if they're out there kicking butt, like we're expecting them to do so this year, I think they get the 1 year to kind of figure it out before people start saying, damn, I'm not a bad game and my food sucks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get to that point.
Well, let me tell you about the Raiders Stadium, because I'm a Raider fan.
Yeah, so, and you've been to Allegiance, right?
I went to Allegiance, and all the things and the bells and whistles and the beautification that you had so far, it's not the Raiders Stadium.
Hey, man, that's how we built, though. That's how we built, man. Hey, that's how we built, man. Nuts and bolts, man. Nuts and bolts, bro.
Look, I went in there to go see the state-of-the-art stadium, and I'm sure it is, but I saw no evidence of it. It was black. It was gray.
Nice.
You walk around, you see just pictures of all the Hall of Famers.
That's right.
And if you are a real Raider fan,
and you should be if you're part of the nation
for 30, 40 years, there's no big screen in the middle of the field.
I ain't here for that.
Where are they on the ends?
They're at the ends, like the Coliseum. That's
right. That's right. I'm here to watch the game, not watch TV.
Right. We're not doing. Yeah, you're not getting any of those bells and whistles.
Yeah, but if they had the brightest, biggest screen in the middle, you'd be like, we got the biggest, brightest screen.
Right, yeah, but of course, man, of course.
Raiders are literally just win, baby, and that's all they care about.
Hey,
at
the same time, we got to start winning.
Yeah,
I hear that just win, baby, when we losing though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just win, baby. Win, you gonna win. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we say just win. I'm like, damn, but it's like we have 4 and 12 seasons, 8 and 8 seasons. Like, we ain't winning enough.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. Like, that stadium, I know it's a state of the art, but it don't look like it. It
doesn't feel like it.
One good thing I did like, they did do like a hologram. When I took a tour inside the locker room, they did a hologram with John Gruden, and he was hyping us up. That was the most technology I saw. And another thing is, we talked, I think a couple of weeks ago with Marco about, AstroTurf and grass.
That's right.
They actually grow their grass on the outside and they come in on the track. So they actually are playing on real grass.
That's pretty neat.
So that's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
So again, the technology is there. You just don't see it. So Raiders, you guys need to make sure you win. Here's the thing. One more thing. There is a club on the north side of the stadium that is the width of the end zone, which I don't understand, because are you going to the club or are you going to watch the game? But what I found out was when we were there was there's a ticket to get to the game, and then there's a ticket to get into the club.
Bro.
And it's by win. So win is more of a higher end.
Oh, of course.
And they have they're going to have celebrity DJs, so like Shaq and Snoop Dogg. So my question is, like, wow, so I got to buy a ticket to the club as well as the game? I think that's kind of crazy.
I mean,
but people are going to do that, man.
Yes, and look, of course, me being the Raider fan, right? So I understand because it is Vegas.
Right.
So I know they somehow, some way they needed to make this experience a Vegas
Nightlife, a
experience.
party.
A Vegas experience.
Yeah,
That's
you're right.
I mean, they came here to Vegas. However, like that takes away from like, why are you here though? Like, why are you here? I know you're here for the club, but are you really watching the game while you in the club? Like, you're not doing that, especially you're there supposedly supporting your team. So I just look at that being something for the out of towners. Like, this is, it feels like a thing.
Man, I tell you what,
Aren't they all out of towners in Vegas?
Well, I mean, what, for the games?
Yeah.
If we saw the preseason game last night, and if everyone saw that, you saw how black that thing was. I mean,
But how many of those people live in Vegas versus traveled there?
I mean, I think we're traveling. I mean,
Yeah.
because you
Well,
got
they're
all
all
of
out of
Oakland.
towners.
Oakland is going to descend, and LA is going to descend. I mean, that's our playground anyway, so we're going to be there.
Hey, well, I know we got to move on, but real quick. So I have a homeboy that lives in Vegas. He's a Bronco fan. He bought season tickets for the Raiders, and he told me, "Hey, man, whenever you in town, I'll give you the tickets at face value." He 3 months later, he texted me, said, "Man, I can't do it." He had KC going for $1,700 a ticket. He had Jaguars going for $800. The Chargers for $500. You know, he had, so he opened up a different bank account just for the tickets that he was actually selling, and he was selling them on a lower rate. So, hey, you get, so it definitely are out of towners coming in.
Yeah, I mean, but as they should though. It is Vegas. Let's not lose sight of the fact that the whole country, and the world for that matter, converge on coming to Vegas. And so you throw a football game into the mix. I mean, it's going to be wild.
Well, look, I'm going to tell y'all what I want to do. And Pat, I know you down with me. Right?
You know that.
So what we going to do is we're going to get up. We're going to wake up at our house. We're going to go to the airport. We're going to fly out to Las Vegas, go hit the 1 o'clock game, be done with that by 4, catch that 7 o'clock flight, be home by 8 o'clock and go in our same bed.
Look, man. That's just the beauty of being from LA and going and having Vegas as your playground.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
be home.
We need that bullet train.
Dude,
we don't need
oh
the
my
bullet
God,
train.
we should have had that bullet train.
We don't even need the bullet train.
And when I probably said this earlier, so I mean, apologize to any of our listeners that heard this before. But one thing about having the Raider games in Vegas is for us as Angelinos. I hate saying Angelinos, but us being from LA, we just moved our calendar. We moved the week. We moved the weekend to. We don't gotta leave at 6, 7, and 8 o'clock at night on a Friday to make it there by midnight to start the Friday. No, man, we can be there on Saturday morning because we're gonna be there all day Saturday. If you're there for the game, why are you leaving after the game? It's gonna be hard, bro, to leave. I mean, you just partied the whole weekend.
You do not want to drive on the 15 freeway.
No, you don't.
That night.
So you're staying there Sunday night, and then you're leaving out Monday like you're supposed to. Like that's what that's grown folks do. But it just I just think that's fun. It's fun. But thank you for listening to our NFL talk. We're now going to go back to our regular schedule programming.
Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick little break here, guys. Of course, we always have to support our sponsors here. So definitely support our sponsors. And don't forget that the Profanity Nation is the official podcast on the Los Angeles Lakers fan club. So if you want to take part, that's where you need to go.
We're just trying to diversify.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Profanity Nation is now the official podcast of the Los Angeles Lakers fan club on Clubhouse. Be sure to join, over 5,000 strong and growing. Also, text Lakers to 22828 for a chance to win a free t-shirt. Again, text Lakers to 22828 for a chance to win a free t-shirt.
We love our sponsors here at the Profanity Nation podcast.
Talk about it.
And one of our sponsors is Pure Life Alternative Wellness Center, located in Chatsworth, California. That's actually a mouthful, believe it or not. The Pure Life Alternative Wellness Center in Chatsworth, California has everything that you need. They will keep you chill, keep you partying, keep you happy. Everything you need, get sleep, keep healthy. You know what I'm talking about. Go there. They sell it. They have it. You can keep up, keep happy, keep good, keep chill. Have fun.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Let's get back to the show.
Right.
All right, guys. So
we got Westbrook.
We got Westbrook officially.
Right? Yeah. He looked very happy when he was at the signing versus when he was traded to the Rockets.
Right.
My man looked like he was in purgatory.
Yeah.
He was not feeling that shit at all.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm at home. My family at home. My mom and dad are here.
His wife's family at home. They at home.
He good. Like, hey, this is what he always wanted.
So he's on one side of the spectrum. Who's on the other side of that spectrum?
Well, just today there happened to be a trade going down with the other guys across the hall.
That's one. But the guy on the other side of that spectrum from the Lakers, that went the other way and unhappy, was our boy Schroeder.
Man, we talked about that last week, but let's talk about it a little bit more. How do you fumble the bag like that? Like, how do you when keeping it real goes wrong? Pretty much, I'm going to bet on myself, and I crapped out.
Yeah.
So
okay. Let's look at that though. Let's dissect that. Like, how many times have you bet on yourself where you've seen players bet on themselves and then they win? Right? You got to bet on yourself. He just lost his way somewhere.
He should be a cautionary tale.
Right.
Like, at this point, look, I get all that, but you better be damn sure. See, the thing is, he was
to already have offers in the wind.
He was at career high 38% from three the year before he got traded to the Lakers. He was usually before that, he was a career 33% 3-point shooter. Guess what he shot last year? 33% 3-point shooting. So he came back down to earth, and now he's basically getting money for people that are shooting 33% from three. Like, look, he's able to affect the game from the bench, but he's getting mid-level money
from the bench,
right? Because he's getting mid-level.
He doesn't get off the bench,
dude. I mean, well, off the bench, I guess. I'm sorry, but I just feel that he's getting paid. Look, I wish the brother well. I think it's hilarious.
Well, look, first of all,
but
first of all, listen, there's no reason to feel bad for this dude. This dude still got like $6 million, right?
He's still okay.
He's still okay.
Okay, he still hurts like a
everything
mother,
is relative. Like, I mean, yes, of course. I'm trying to be a teacher, of course. No. My salary compared to a $6 million guy, of course, it's relative. And however,
and how much would you make it before?
He walked away from.
So I mean, yeah.
But you got to bet on yourself. You just got to perform.
Do your thing.
You got.
I just hope it works out for you, brother.
Hey, listen, look. He's good enough to still be in the league.
Barely. Yes. I mean, it's just like, remember how people were like coming at Kwame Brown and calling him a bust, and everybody was like,
Kwame
he's not a bust. He better go ahead and
don't hurt Kwame's feelings. We don't want to be on that.
I don't want none of that smoke.
We don't want mama's cooking.
I don't want none of that smoke.
But Kwame kept on getting contracts.
Because you know what? He was actually a functional big, even though he got some drama for
like
that.
I said, relative.
If Schroeder doesn't play well in Boston, he's out of the league next year, no question.
You think so?
Oh yeah, he's over the season.
Well, I know he's in Boston now.
Shanghai Sharks.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in Boston now. So
now you did lead to something that we were going to talk
about.
What's that
trade? What's that trade? What's the full details of that trade? I know the big players in it.
All right, here we go. So the stepchildren in Staples have made a trade for other stepchildren, and the Clippers have traded. And this one kind of hurts because it's the guy I love to hate. They traded Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, who was probably not going to be there very long, and Okoro for Eric Bledsoe.
Okay.
Bledsoe, very functional player. I don't believe he's ever helped a team get there necessarily. Maybe.
No, not that I've seen. I've seen him in big moments, especially when he was with the Rockets. Like, not really.
Money Mike, right off the bat. Just right off, before you even talk about it, did the Clippers get better?
You know what? That's relative, and I'm going to tell you why. Eric Bledsoe, love his game, great offensive player. But I think they lost the heartbeat of the team. Patrick Beverley, you love to hate him, but he takes on every challenge. He brings that toughness. He brings the culture. So you lost all the mentality and the heartbeat of your team for a better offensive player. I don't care because they weren't going to win either way. But if you ask me, I think they got better. I probably would have kept Patrick Beverley there.
And I would say, to piggyback on your point, Mike, like it started not with Patrick Beverley. I think it started when they lost Montrez. And so you had Montrez at one time, you had Patrick Beverley's, and you also had Morris. And so for me, they had that like we don't give a damn type of energy that was pretty much like we're not losing, like we're not going to be punked tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so now when you start seeing that now we don't have Patrick Beverley, we don't have Harold, it now feels like, you know, they don't have that mystique as it once did beforehand. And I'm looking at them like, okay, so where the toughness coming back? Because Morris can only do so much, but your leaders are now Kawhi and Paul George. Where are you going to get that, like you said, the heart? Where are you going to get that grit, that determination, that like, you know, somebody that's willing to go ahead and tell Steph Curry that the next 5 years in mine, even though we know that was BS, you know. But you see what I'm saying? Like, who is going to be that brash on the team now?
I got a question for you, Money. Do you think this was strictly a basketball decision, or does this because I made a comment at the end of the playoffs when Beverly pushed Chris Paul? I said, if that's the Lakers, that guy does not play another game just because he did that push and how unsportsmanlike. Do you think this had anything to do with it?
I mean, that's an interesting question because you kind of know who Patrick Beverley is. You know,
that was even off the hook for that, though.
Yeah, it was. It was because it was very unnecessary, and it's really interesting because we're going to talk more about like, you know, the Malice and the Palace. We will get into that. It's like when you have these players that you know are kind of off, you know, unstable a little bit. You like them because they're unstable, but you hate them because they're unstable. You know what I mean? So you kind of got to deal with both sides of it. So, you know, I can see them saying, you know what, this guy, we don't want that as a culture of the Clippers, and them making a trade to get him out. And then you also have Rondo too, because Rondo is the type of guy that doesn't,
get
you
in your
know,
face too.
Yeah, he will. Not only will he get in your face, but if he doesn't like what's going on, then he's not going to play or perform at all if he doesn't like his situation. So it could have been a dump, you know, and they got like a decent player back. I can see that. In Clubhouse, if you guys have an opinion on that, go ahead and blink your mic.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
If they do, let me know, Mike.
All right. I think we got Michael. Mike, you have a comment about that?
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, so I mean, specifically, you're running through all these different teams. I just want to quickly hit on a couple of last different things that you guys said. Like, I think, first of all, with Schroeder, the problem was his play. He came in not being the team guy that he was the year before in Oklahoma City. I think that's what hurt his bag as much as anything else, and him worrying about that next contract instead of just letting his play do the talking for him. I think that's a lot of why he did that. But to your point, Money Mike, you're supposed to bet on yourself, right? Like, the one thing that you should do if you're going to bet on yourself, though, is sit down and realize what are all the things that I have to do to try to win that bet on myself. And he did not. He didn't execute all those things, right? So that's why he took that hit. As far as the Clippers, Pat Bev is kind of a tough guy on that team, and Rondo is a very interesting thing too. I want to look at the other side of that trade just for a minute. I think that Rajon Rondo can be a very big help and a very big veteran and a teacher to Ja Morant. Ja Morant's more explosive than Rondo ever was off the dribble, but as far as dribble drive, getting to the cup, that kind of thing, Morant's explosive, a better shooter than Rondo was, and Morant's becoming a little bit better as a distributor, but being able to learn how to lead a team and learn what it's like to be a floor general. Like, if he can take his game to that level and add those pieces to his game, Ja Morant becomes even more of a problem as a point guard in the Western Conference.
Well, I'd say, in my opinion, Rondo is one of the best player coaches out there currently. What would you think, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think that when you have a person like Rondo that actually sees the court so well and has those intangibles, I mean, everyone want to call him washed, and then all of a sudden he just bust out and have a game, game 6 like he did for the Lakers, So I really agree with, Mike when he said that Ja Morant is going to benefit having a player like Rajon Rondo on the team.
I agree.
And that is a great way of looking at this trade, seeing the other side of it. I know we pay attention to what the Clippers are getting, but to see You know, and then also with Rajon Rondo, you still have Pat Beverly too as well.
Yeah,
that's going to be there. That's going to bring that toughness. Now him, I don't know how many fouls they got, man. Because I mean, they got what Brooks. Like, dude, these guys gonna be chopping you up. Like,
right?
It's gonna 6 fouls ain't enough. But they're gonna be tough.
They're gonna be intense.
They're gonna be intense, and I like that. So yeah, for a team like that's hovering around the 8th seed, they're gonna need some of that, before they get to the next level.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. I've had enough Clippers talk. Let's go ahead and move on to something else.
I hear that.
We can only do so much Clippers talk there. Mike, there is a documentary out with our boy, one of our friends here, Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, of course. Why don't you fill us in a little bit about what's out there, what's going on? And you've had a chance to see it, Pat, and I have not yet. So we're really interested in what you have to say here.
Hey, I wish Netflix was paying me for this, but look, you guys got to go on Netflix and watch The Malice in the Palace, The Untold Story. It's really, really interesting because, I mean, I remember where I was when my boy called me from Texas and was like, dude, do you see what's going on? And you see the pushing, you see Meta laying on the scores table, you see him going into the crowd, you see it. I mean, you see all that, and you can't believe what you're seeing from so many different levels.
Yeah,
so many different levels.
So wild.
Right. And then, but the backstory behind it is like even more amazing. Like they talk about Jermaine O'Neal was the one that produced it. Jermaine O'Neal was talking about, well, let's back up. If you back up, you have the Pacers and Detroit the year before, and they're going back and forth. The Pacers,
they are the two top teams.
Yeah, they're two top teams. They feel like they have the team to actually win the championship that year, and they went up against Detroit, and Detroit was able to beat them and win the championship against the Lakers that year. So, when you see that, the following year is when Meta, at the beginning of the season says, "Yo, I want to do my rap album, so I
need time off."
Yeah, I need time off at the beginning of the season. They're like, "Dude, you done had 6 months off, like And he was telling them, like, I don't know. But he really explains it. He explains it to the point that he's experiencing anxiety and depression at the same time. And he doesn't he's just unstable.
And let's just say that back then,
mental
health was nothing we would talk about.
So he knew he was going through something, and the patient was like, "Hey, you need to come here and be here." I'm not trying to give it all away, but
go ahead. It's not like a hidden ending, please.
Right? Yeah, but it's really interesting. And then what's funny about it is when they go to play Detroit again, that following season. They're ready. Reggie Miller his finger is broke, so he's not playing. And they want to beat these champion team because they feel like that they lost it the following year. Indiana's whooping them. They're up by 15, less than a minute left in the game. And I forgot the guy player. He said, "Hey, you got to foul Ben," but Ben just lost his brother, and that's a lot of people don't know. And my favorite. I'm telling you all who my favorite person is. So my favorite person in there is my Up in Smoke guy, Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson, that's my dude.
Yeah,
that's my dude because Steven Jackson basically explained, "Look, if I'm with you, I'm rocking with you. I got your back and everything." Steven Jackson says the foul is not necessary, so I'm going to defend Ben Wallace. And Meta World Peace or Ron Artest at the time found a way to foul Ben Wallace. To foul Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace pushes Artest. Artest knows that he does not want to snap. So he goes and lays on the table.
Yep.
Everybody sees it.
Yep.
And when that cup flies, he goes in and into the stands. And then not only does he go into the stands, here go our boy Jackson. And he goes in and says, my man's getting attacked. He knocks him out.
My brother.
And then the fans come onto the court and then somebody square up. And then I'm telling y'all, this is a great. I'm
gonna just tell you right now, because I know you were talking about all the bits and pieces of that moment. I remember, like you said, where I was at or watching it with my dad, and we're just like, "Yo, you believe what's going on with this? Like, this is wild." Because like all of a sudden, like the drink came, and then and everything started popping off. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, like, so you said Jermaine O'Neal produced it. I'm gonna tell you right now, if that dude did not slip when he threw that punch, that dude would have been in a hospital. Like, wait, dude, he's still connected. He's still connected all jaw, and he was slipping going back. If this dude would have been able to go square and did that, it would have been like Kermit Washington, like Tom Jonas levels. It would have been that crazy. Because if you look back, I'm like, dude, that dude slipped. And he still he slipped and he connected, and that guy went backwards. So I'm like, damn, momentum would have just told me that he would just like. And then everything you see, Chuck Person out there in the slacks and loafers, he out there swinging. I would tell you, it's just wow, it's pandemonium.
Yeah,
dude.
but I'm gonna tell you something else though. The cops come from the back and they go and Reggie Miller is trying to get Ron, and the cop has Mace in his hand about to mace Reggie Miller because he doesn't recognize. He sees the suit and he doesn't recognize that it's Reggie Miller on there because it's crazy. But anyway, let's fast forward.
We don't want to give away the whole plot.
But look, let me just say this though. The reason why I brought it up was the most interesting thing about that is if that would have happened now, those punishments, I don't think would have happened like that.
What would be different?
I think because now the league holds the fans more accountable, right? And the narrative that was going on back then where they were thugs, they got, they get all these millions of dollars, and they need to understand that that's what fans are going to do. And no, you don't have a right to throw a cup at me. You don't have a right to come onto the floor and want to square up against me. And what was really interesting that when David Stern and they asked him, who did he discuss and what was the decision on this, and he said it was 1-0. Like it was all his decision on what the punishment was going to be. He discussed with himself, but when you look at the criminal part of it, they was like, no, they have a right to defend themselves. Like if this guy comes to square up against me, that's why nothing criminally would have done. But it's so very interesting because they lost a lot of money based on what the fan did. Because if you think about it, if that cup would not have been thrown at him, then the Madison Palace would never have happened.
And
because
they may have gone on to win a championship that year. Many people believe.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? And I did not realize it. That was the year that Reggie retired. And and because Reggie was like, do I have another year in me? And it's almost like he kind of gave up. Not that I ever want him to win on our watch, but it made me feel sorry that was his final year. So it's just really different, like the dynamic from back then versus now. It's just really crazy.
Do they go into the relationship that Meta now has with that gentleman that threw the cup?
But you know what they really go into? They go into Jackson being upset that he has a relationship because he's like, look,
he still holds a grudge.
Well, I wouldn't call it a grudge, but he's like, dog, like I would have had your back. And now you cool with the guy? Like, come on, man. Like,
he changed his name to Winter World Peace.
It's okay.
It's like he's not the same dude.
Real quick, let's see if anybody saw the Malice in the Palace on Clubhouse. Anybody see it or have any comments about it?
Let's see, we got anyone there?
Anybody?
Steven Jackson. I thought I remember hearing that.
We got a problem.
Okay, here we go.
Go ahead, problem.
I was just saying, like, it was a wild time to saying that. I seen it I didn't see it live happening. I remember seeing it when ESPN was showing the footage, and that haymaker that Jermaine O'Neal had thrown, that guy was definitely lucky because he would have probably tore his jaw, with that hit. People got to remember that these aren't just like normal everyday average people. 6'11", 7-foot guys don't walk around comedy, So that guy would have, Jermaine O'Neal would have connected with that guy's jaw. That guy probably wouldn't be able to talk no more.
Nah.
But I'm just happy that I'm happy that Meta World Peace had reconciled with the guy and everything. That's a big dude. That's Meta World Peace is a big dude itself. But it takes a lot to go ahead and just say, you know what, let bygones be bygones, and still man up and still become friends, with someone after that. So I took my hat out to him for doing that. But because that's bigger than just having an ego, But at the same particular time, I'm definitely sad to learn that was Reggie's last year. I didn't think of that, being his last year. And then too, with the suspensions, that took away money from the players like Meta World Peace and whoever. I think he got the longest extension. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he got the whole season.
Yeah, that took away from careers, no doubt about it. Yeah. And like I said, a potential championship from that team.
Right.
So it's amazing.
That was pretty sad. I'm sorry about the apologize. Also, I'm at work right now.
Okay.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you for listening.
You're good. Hey, man, we appreciate you for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was pretty sad.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anybody else? We got a couple more minutes.
Anyone else on there that got something to say about
Eric, go ahead real quick.
Yeah, I'm from the D, man. I was across the way at the Palace when it happened. I ain't gonna take it away. Money Mike broke it down like the intimacies, and we weren't talking about mental health. But I will say this: 146 total game suspension, $11 million in fine. That's 16 years ago in 2004. So think about that. That's got to be double that now, and 5 assault charges. I mean, absolute insanity. I hated Ron Artest as a Detroiter. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew, with Ben, it was one of those things where they had tried to be tough, even going back to New York. We're Detroit. We weren't having it. And, I was cheering them on. I was hoping we would knock them motherfuckers out. But in retrospect, that guy's lucky. Jermaine O'Neal slipped. You get what you deserve in this world, man. And that throwing that cup was wrong. I mean, even charging into the stands, like, yeah, it was there. But, man, I tell you what, dog, that was the craziest shit I still have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And everything. And I've seen soccer in Brazil, all around the world, man. I've seen parents fight, man. It's crazy. Ever in my life seen anything like that. My heart rate. My wife at the time was in India, man, and there's 11 hours difference, and I'm calling her. And her dad's like, I don't understand why you're calling me about a fight. I'm like, no, you don't understand. In the stands, and it went on, and they squared up. Oh, it was absolutely crazy. Man.
Yeah, it was a pandemonium.
But in the end, man, you're lucky about that Jermaine O'Neal punch, boy. Because that would have been lights out.
Dude, sure. I can't think of anything. Like I know about all. I mean, and I've seen when Steven Jackson punched the dude, and he kind of pointed like, "Hey, I saw you. He didn't see you, but I saw you." Like he hit him, like, let him know I'm here, bro. Right. I'm here. I'm for it. And then, but when I'm looking at the crowd, and that guy comes and he try to run, dude. Jermaine O'Neal is 6'9". Fool has a 7 feet wingspan. How are you even thinking you gonna come close? And my man came and he slipped, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, dude. If he would have squared up and just fired off on the hip, dude, that fool would have been across the field. I mean, it was like so wild. Look, man, I was sitting there. I was eating my popcorn, man. I was looking at the whole damn thing, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit was wow. It was wild, bro.
It was. It definitely was. You know what though? Hey man, I appreciate you giving us a Detroit perspective.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't like Detroit at all.
No, I mean no.
But I will. But because you are on the show, I will give you a compliment. You guys announcer back then, he was amazing.
Oh, come on, Detroit basketball.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah. I'll give you props.
I hate that.
I'll give you props to your announcer. That's all I'm gonna do.
And fun fact, that there's only 2 teams in the NBA history that have a winning record against the Lakers in the finals. That would be the Celtics and the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, so you got to credit.
Hey man, I teach at Michigan State University. Dog, Magic was my hero growing up. So. I mean, that's an intimate tie when I was coming up, and I loved Isaiah. I mean, I think Zeke Still is one of the most underrated players ever. But man, Magic Johnson was everything to me, man. Like Kobe is for young cats now. So I didn't have the hatred, but I love sweeping you on 5 games.
That's okay.
All right, man. Hey,
right.
We all learn.
Hey, Crispy, do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah,
do what you gotta do, man. You gotta take out the trash. You gotta take out the trash, Crispy. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you.
Look, we gave you one compliment, man. That's it. You don't get nothing else.
You didn't like the draft?
Hey, man. We need where's the gong? I need that gong.
Yeah,
where's that gong?
I hated Luka Garza, y'all, and I watched the last 2 games in Vegas. And I think he's actually gonna play in the NBA now. I never thought I would say that. But,
that is awesome.
That's cool.
That is awesome. All right,
Thank you.
Awesome comments from our people over there at the fan club. Now, As every episode, as every single show, we close it out with an awesome segment that we all love here, and everybody definitely on Clubhouse loves. So get ready to take part, everyone. This segment we call Money Mike's Out of Bounds, and it's pretty easy. Money Mike's going to share his thoughts or opinion on a subject, and he wants to know if his thoughts on that are in bounds or out of bounds. Money Mike, you've got it.
Hey, I think this is a really pretty funny one, actually. So this is what I'm expecting to happen this year. Lakers going to win a championship. I think that's a consensus that we're going to win a championship. Yep. So if the Lakers going to win a championship, there are other awards that are going to come along with that, right? And I think one of the awards is going to be GM of the year. Now, am I out of bounds to say that LeBron James should be GM of the year versus Rob Pelinka? You know what I mean? Let's go directly to Clubhouse. Yeah, at Clubhouse, am I out of bounds to name LeBron James as GM of the year? Go ahead and blink your mic.
You let me know who we're going to, Money, and in the meantime,
all right, go Crispy. What we got?
Crispy.
What we got?
Come
Crispy?
on, Crispy, help us out.
Dang, Money Mike, I have to call you on this one, man.
Thank you.
Definitely out of bounds. Pelinka, he did his job. You gotta get that man his credit and his flowers while he's here. So hats off to Pelinka, man. He did a great job with forming this.
Man, is it really Pelinka though? You know it ain't Pelinka.
I know.
Okay, Andrea, help me out. Help me out, Andrea.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good. Now y'all know that Braun called Russ himself.
Thank you.
Now you know this man said, "Hey, I see you every off season. You know, we hang out. We friends. We homies. Our wives love each other. We gonna just go on ahead and get you this ring." Pelinka took the load on his back because that's his job. But if you don't think LeBron is doing all this recruiting, you silly.
All right, thank you.
So
whatever didn't work. Hey, Mamba, I see you blinking your mic, and then problem you next.
No, what if it don't work? What if it crash?
That's okay. You got to give it a shot.
Hey, man, the question is, are we giving LeBron the GM of the year or?
But he's saying it can't be GM of the year if it don't work.
But see, we're not gonna know. The award's gonna go before the playoffs. The award's gonna, so we got a good record, you know. Yeah. That's what I said. So the award's gonna be given out before the playoffs end. Yeah. So Mamba, I'm in balance, right, Mamba?
No, LeBron deserves it if they do win.
There you go. All right, hey, problem. What's up?
Come on, help us out, problem.
Sweep.
My homies, y'all definitely way inbounds, man.
There you go.
I want to ask this: who really runs Clutch Sports, man?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who really runs Clutch Sports? Who got, a stake in Clutch Sports, and who also plays on the floor with the Lakers? I mean, that, and also you got to go ahead and give a shout out to Anthony Davis too with the Chicago connection. Kendrick Nunn, I personally coached him before.
Oh, okay, cool.
When he was a kid, so that's why
awesome.
I got much more bias towards hoping that the Lakers win, and I got a relationship with his father too. He's a great guy, great kid. THT, they both played at Simeon High School, along with the great Derrick Rose. I'm from Chicago.
Oh yeah. You know what? We weren't on the air yet, but we were talking about how Caruso and Lonzo team back up in Chicago, and they're going to be. We think they're going to be doing pretty well.
Terrorizing backcourts.
Yeah, for real.
The backcourt's going to be great. The front court's going to be anybody can go ahead and court, man. Anybody can go ahead and hit the ball. LeBron can have a field day if you want.
Yeah. All right, Pat. I'm in bounds, right?
You in bounds, bro.
Right, cool.
I'll try to find a way to not be in bounds, man. But bro, you in bounds. Like, look. Like, we can talk about all these people getting minimum contracts. Come on, dude. I mean, they're getting minimum contract because Pelinka called him.
Right.
It's because LeBron called him.
Well, I mean, cause literally, Carmelo said, LeBron called me.
It's time.
And said it's time.
It's time. So that didn't say Pelinka called him. It said LeBron called me and said it's time. And he said, you know what? I think it is. And then he comes signs with the Lakers. Okay. So that tells you what you need to know.
All right, come on.
Oh, I'm going to say you're inbounds, but the question is this: does that rule Pelinka out?
No,
it does not.
Or does Pelinka win it by proxy for LeBron?
Oh, he's going to accept the award. But if he's not saying, I like to take a shout out to LeBron, the real MVP, you the real MVP, you the real GM of here. Like, if he ain't doing that at the award ceremony, then he's doing it all wrong. You know what I'm saying?
So you telling me, man, and I love my boy Crispy, but he's the only hater today.
I mean, you don't have to call him a
He's
hater.
smart.
He just disagrees with. You know, he just agrees.
He's out of bounds
All right,
guy.
hey, much love to Crispy always.
Much love.
And I know before we get out of here, I know you guys are probably looking at the summer league. I'm really digging Reeves. I'm really digging McClung. I mean, I think I hate that big one to go ahead and say, is he the Caruso? A replacement. That's just lazy. Just because they're white don't mean they just, you know what I'm saying? That's just lazy. You know what I'm saying?
They look alike.
Just because that, don't say that. And then also, I mean, like I said, I like Reeves, I like McClung. And then if you guys haven't been watching or looking online, THT is looking slim and trim, and he's ready to go ahead and make that leap. If he makes that leap, watch out. All the other stuff that we got on the team, if he's that youth, that infusion of youth, and actually balling, we're going to be tough, man. So just shout out, man, when Summer League is popping, and we're looking pretty good.
Angela going to be on the team, too, man.
He's going to make it. He's playing well.
I mean, because Charlotte's like, man, this guy is great.
Yeah, he's playing well.
Yeah.
I actually hope he does. I hope he comes into his own.
Too.
Yeah, I hope he does. All right. Well, that's another episode of the Profanity Nation podcast, guys. Money Mike, Stat Pat, thank you so much. Yours truly, Simsta. Like I say, as always, we are here every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Pacific. You can join us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the Good News Radio Network, and of course, Los Angeles Lakers Fan Club on Clubhouse. That's the spot to be.
Yes, sir.
Everyone you hear participating with our show here, they're on the Clubhouse, so that's where you got to go.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it. We'll be here next week. Money, Stat, Peace.
Profanity Nation.
Yeah, it's the new era of man for some old school fans with a new school brand. We got money on the mic with the plan in hand. And Stat Pat to his left, they go hand in hand. And to the right, we got Simster, he putting it down. It's the Profanity Nation, we running the town, yeah.
It's the Profanity Nation.
Profanity Nation.